Welcome to another episode of Meal Prep Monday. I'm your host, Allison Schaaf, and today, I'm actually really off topic today. So today we're talking about my new goat. And this really, I'll just throw this out there. This does not have really anything to do with meal prep or meals or anything like that. So I know that's probably what you're here for. Feel free to skip over this episode. I have plenty of episodes that are devoted to all sorts of topics related to quick, healthy meals and meal prep. But today I thought it'd be fun to talk about our goat. So before I do that, I will say if you want something related to meal prep and meal planning, you can go to prepdish.com/podcast, or you can text 33777, the word meal prep, all one word, and you can get 1 week free. So try that out. That's a good way to get started with meal prep and meal planning if you're brand new to us. But let's dive into the episode today. So if you follow Prep Dish on Instagram and you watch any of our stories, you've probably seen over the past kind of month that we now have a goat. And just because it's been such a kind of funny, entertaining story on Instagram, I thought it deserved an episode here on the podcast. And there is some overlap. Like if you're listening to the podcast, yes, maybe you also watch the Instagram stories, but there's a good chance you miss the stories or that you don't overlap. So wanted to give some background on this. So one thing that was kind of funny was we got some puppies back in late June. And I did post that on Instagram. I said, okay, we're getting some, we're adding to our, I don't remember, we're getting new furry friends. We already have the cats and the chickens and the bees and all this. And I said, we're getting some new furry friends. And I had people vote, what are we getting? Are we getting puppies, sheep, goats, llama, something like that? A few people thought we were getting llamas. Two people thought we were getting puppies, which was my mom and my sister. So those were those votes. And then 95% of you all thought that we were getting goats. Well, that wasn't the plan. We weren't planning to get goats. But I will say, my husband and I have talked about it, and long term, yes, we wanted to at some point get goats out here. We live in the country. We love animals. So we have thought, maybe someday we will get some goats. We weren't really set up for that and didn't feel like we were ready to take that on. Not that we were necessarily set up and ready to take on puppies, but that's another story. So anyway, we weren't getting a goat, but one day I'm in town and I get a text from my husband and there's this picture of this goat just literally at our back door. And he said, look who showed up. So there was a goat that showed up at our back door and just standing there. We were okay. So the first thing we did is we started texting the photo to a few neighbors to see if anyone knew where this goat came from. We do have a few neighbors that have goats, but no one claimed her. And so then we started, putting out the photo to a larger email list that's the neighborhood. We posted on Nextdoor. We texted neighbors again to see if they could text other neighbors, that maybe we didn't know that lived a little further away. No one's claiming this goat. We know all of our neighbors. So it's not like there's someone that, a house that might have a goat that we don't know of this person. The email list goes out to pretty much everyone in the neighborhood. So no one's claiming this goat. And in the meantime, we're kind of getting attached to her. Our house is set up to where we have a lot of glass doors and windows all throughout our living room. And then where my office is, I have glass garage doors because I'm kind of out in our shop garage area. And she's just following us around all day. So if I'm at work, she's sitting out watching me at the back door. She's sitting there. And so I'm just thinking, I'm attached to this goat. if no one's going to claim her, I feel like she claimed us. I want to keep her. And so, I kind of have my husband convinced we're going to keep her. Oh, and while all this is happening, the puppies are away. So we sent them for training. So they're kind of away at school for a few weeks. And this is when the goat shows up. So then the puppies get back. And that's when things get a little hectic because the goat does not like the puppies. And, the goat had been here a full, probably 5 days. And she had decided this was her house And when the puppies showed up, she didn't like that the puppies were at her like quote unquote house, and she started getting really upset with them. She tried like headbutting them. She wouldn't let them in. Like if they tried coming in the house, she really wouldn't let them. And then when they were in the house, she would like charge at the window and like try and headbutt our like glass window. So that was, so we're like, okay, well, if we're going to keep this goat, we need to get a fence up pronto. So that way she's not like harming these new pups. So we scrambled, we got the fence set up and, basically at this point, we're just deciding this is our new goat. And we did get the fence set up. She was in there for a good, probably 2 weeks. And then, kind of the most recent update is then, on Sunday, right before church, I'm running out to the shop to grab something. And I look out, the glass window. Oh, of course, the puppies. I've recorded a few episodes and they've been fine, but they must know they're in here with me. So they must know I'm talking about them or something. So anyway, she's standing right there. So she must have figured out how to jump this fence, which I don't know how she did that, but like we checked all the gates were closed. So, always an adventure out here in the country. And people have asked if we're milking her. So she is a female goat and we could milk her, but she would have to first get pregnant and have a baby. I mean, the way I understand it, it's kind of like, human, like she's lactating after she's given birth. So, at this point she couldn't. I have a neighbor that does, or at one point did milk her goats. I mean, it's kind of like breastfeeding, a human baby is like, you really have to keep up with it. You can't like let the milk dry out. So it's a very time consuming job. So I'm thinking, maybe when the kids get older, if that could be a project they could help with. But right now that's definitely more than we could take on is milking a goat on top of, I'm still, feeding a human baby and he's still nursing and we, are feeding a family and all that. So no short-term plans to milk this goat, which, oh, by the way, goat's name is Fruit. I'll let you all guess who named her. And that was after several suggestions. And thank you to all of you who submitted suggestions on Instagram. We had several suggestions of names. I kind of threw those all out there. I was indecisive on the name, so I left it, to the toddler, and he very much, and I kind of let it sit for a few days and came back a few different times to make sure that was really the name, but he was very kind of certain in that choice. So her name is Fruit. She's entertaining. She doesn't really let us pet her or anything like that just yet. I think that might change over time, but she definitely is interested in us. I think she mostly likes the boys. She kind of follows them around the house now that she's not in her pen anymore. She follows them around the house, like through the window, or if we're outside, she's always close to us, but not too close, right? Like she'll be like within 5 to 10 feet of us at all times, but never like closer than that. So she's been pretty entertaining. We do know, we're kind of scrambling to learn about them, that she probably needs a companion. So we are working on that. We have one neighbor that's offered to give us their goats that I think they're willing to part with, but they have 4 goats. So I don't know if we're ready to go from like 1 to 5. So still TBD there, but we are probably going to end up with even more than 1 goat. That is today's episode. Again, kind of off topic. Not sure if you like these episodes. Feel free to let me know. Like, I will put up a little question box on Instagram today. In the show notes, I will link both our Facebook group and our, Instagram page. I'll also put just like the customer service email so you can like reach out. If you guys have suggestions, questions, topics, things you want to hear about, I'm open to that. So just let me know. I can always fit in whatever topic request you have. I have done that in the past, especially I know some of the personal chef stuff, interestingly enough, was pretty came up as like a topic you guys wanted to hear more about. So that's why I kind of did a few episodes on that a while back. But yeah, if you have suggestions, let me know. If you have any comments about the goat or Fruit, feel free to connect with me in any of those places and let me know. And if you are looking for a meal plan, you can just go to prepdish.com/podcast to try a free week, or you can text 33777. Text the word meal prep, all one word, and you can get 1 free week. That's all I have for this week. I will be back again next Monday.